Well, South Africa may seem compromised unless it can show that the meeting actually brought back serious gains. Kenya looks bold, pan-African, and future focused. Hello everybody, welcome back. Pull up a chair because Africa's got choices to make. All right, Africa's got choices to make. In one corner you've got Kenya standing tall, chin up, telling the US, don't tell us who to partner with. We are going to do what is best for us. You see, the drama kicked off when US lawmakers raised alarms over Kenya's growing partnership with China. You know, throwing out the usual buzzwords like debt traps, strategic influence, and Beijing is buying Africa. But Kenya wasn't having it. Of course, Kenya's parliament clapped back hard. They called out the hypocrisy of Washington warning them about China when the US itself trades billions with Beijing. Obviously, they made it crystal clear. This isn't about East versus West. This is about Africa's agency. We choose our friends. Do not lecture us. From building railways and ports to delivering real infrastructure, Kenya sees China as a partner of action, not just empty talk. The West? Well, the West is long on speeches but short on cranes. You know what cranes are, right? Cranes are, you know, they use cranes to build bridges, to build roads, to build tall buildings. Basically, they use cranes to build infrastructures that a country really needs. The West is kind of short on those. And when President Ruto said Kenya and China are co-architects of a new world order,
we envision a digital future that is Kenya in location, Africa in identity, and global in impact. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya and China are not merely trade partners. We are co-architects of a new world order, one that is fair, inclusive, and sustainable. Let us measure our success not in GDP growth or trade volumes, but in how many lives we uplift, how many futures we secure, and how much dignity we restore.
He wasn't calling for a revolution. No, he was calling for a seat at the table. Now, this is Africa's diplomatic duality in action. We do not belong to anyone, okay? We play the field and we choose what works. Meanwhile, down south, President Cyril Ramaphosa boarded a plane to Washington, D.C. to meet with Donald Trump this same 2025, this same May of 2025. This is a trip that raised more eyebrows than hopes. Why, you may ask? Because Trump has been stirring up old racial ghosts, you know, accusing South Africa of enabling a white genocide, expelling the South African ambassador, and opening up asylum for white South Africans claiming discrimination. So what is President Ramaphosa's mission? Damage control. Damage control. He wants to protect trade ties, clarify the truth about land reforms, and also calm the diplomatic storm. But not everyone was buying it. EFF leader Julius Malema called it a waste of time, accusing Ramaphosa of selling out to Western interests and begging for approval from a man who openly disrespected or insulted the continent, our continent, the African continent. Now, here is where it gets interesting. Kenya and South Africa are playing the same geopolitical game, but with opposite strategies. Kenya is pushing back. We are going to work with China, deal with it. And South Africa is leaning in. Let us smooth things over with Washington, even if it's Trump. Kenya on the one hand is asserting independence. South Africa risks looking like it's asking for permission. Okay, now that we've seen both sides, what is the verdict? It actually depends on who you ask. But in the court of African public opinion, Kenya looks bold, pan-African, and future focused. Well, South Africa may seem compromised unless it can show that the meeting actually brought back serious gains. Because at the end of the day, the direction does not really matter. East or West, it does not really matter if we are not moving on our own terms. My fellow Africans, this isn't just about two countries. No, it's not. It's about how the whole continent is learning to say, we do not want masters, we want partners. And now we have got to ask ourselves, is Africa finally playing the global stage, or we are still getting played? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. See you in the next one.